Welcome to my channel. In the stories, you are the one in danger. Watch carefully. Every choice you'd make is the wrong one. No, 1. Don't look behind you. You're walking home at night. Your phone is in your hand. Its screen illuminates your face, revealing how pale you've become. The streetlights above cast long, dancing shadows around you. Footsteps echo behind you. If you turn around now, you'll see him. The man who's been following you for blocks, the one whose eyes are like chips of ice, cold and hard. If you don't, he'll be closer by the time you check again, and by the time you finally turn around, there's no one behind you, but his breath is on your neck. You can feel his hot, fetid breath on your skin. Smell the stale waste of his being, cloying and thick like overripe fruit. His fingers are in your hair, pulling your head back so that you can see his face inches from yours. His lips curl into a smile, revealing teeth that are just a little too sharp, just a little too long. His eyes gleam with a predatory light, and you know with a sickening certainty that the hunt has just begun. Now you run. You run as fast as your legs can carry you, heart hammering against your ribs, threatening to burst free. You can hear him behind you, his footsteps sure and steady, gaining on you. Up ahead you see a park. You remember seeing a park here on the map. You turn into the park, weaving between trees in the gathering dark. Their branches, gnarled and twisted, reach out like skeletal fingers trying to grab at you. The park is empty, silent except for the rustling of leaves and the pounding of your own blood in your ears. But you're not alone. He's still behind you. You can feel his eyes boring into you, stripping you, seeing all. You quicken your pace, your breath catching in your throat as you try to get away, to lose him. But it's no use. He's faster, stronger. He closes the distance between you with every stride, and soon you can hear the ragged gasps of his breathing. Heavy, wet, and warm. The trees open up and you see a wrought iron fence. There's a gate, but it's locked. You try the handle, it won't budge. And the sound of scraping metal on metal makes him pause, turn, flinging your arms wide in a gesture of despair. But he doesn't stop. He just keeps coming. His face, a mask of hunger now, and you know if he catches you, if he gets close enough, then everything will be over. You slump down against the fence, tears streaming down your face, choking back a scream as his hand brushes against your arm. His touch is like fire, searing and hot, branding you with his essence, with his ownership. You scramble back, but there's no escape. He leans closer, his voice a low growl in your ear. "Run," he whispers, and you do. You run as fast as you can, but where can you go? You find yourself running through a dark and narrow alley. Walls close in on either side, the stench of stale waste and decay thick in the air. At the end of the alley, you see a glimmer of light and you run towards it, hope flickering within you. As you reach the end, he's right there with you, blocking your way out. And in that moment, you know there's nowhere left to run, nowhere left to hide. He's trapped you like a rat in a cage, and the hunter is about to claim his prize. His eyes blaze with triumph, and you can see the predator's glee reflected in their depths. His smile is a slash of white teeth against the darkness, and it's then you realize you're not going to get away. You never could. He was always going to catch you. But why? Why did he want to play this twisted game? Why prolong the chase when the end was inevitable? What kind of sick satisfaction did he derive from your terror? As he advances, you shrink back, trying to make yourself small, insignificant. You want to disappear, to become nothing, hoping that maybe, just maybe, he'll lose interest and let you go. But he doesn't. He reaches out, his fingers brushing against your cheek, and you flinch. His touch is electric, sending shivers down your spine that have nothing to do with fear. His thumb strokes away a tear, and you look up at him, meeting his gaze directly. And in that moment, you know you're lost. You're his now, body and soul. He leans in, his lips brushing against yours, and you can feel the heat of his body enveloping you, drowning you. In the next instant, his lips are on yours, and he's inside you. You cry out, not in pain, but in the overwhelming realization that you are utterly and completely his. The world spins, and you collapse against him. Your hands clutching at his shoulders as you succumb to the inevitable. Then everything goes black. Your phone rings. It's an unknown number. You hesitate, then decide to answer. There's no response. just silence. Then you hear the line go dead. You were about to hang up when suddenly it rings again, but this time it's louder. Much louder. You jump, startled by the sudden noise. Who could be calling at this ungodly hour? What do? You let the phone fall onto your pillow and slowly make your way to the window. But there's nothing outside but darkness. You can't see anything. You try to shake off the creeping dread that's been settling in your stomach, convincing yourself that it was probably just a wrong number. Then the phone rings again, insistent and demanding your attention. Now, it's much louder than before. You have no choice but to pick up. A voice on the other end says, "Don't look out your window." You pause, considering his words. Why would they tell you not to look out the window? Curiosity overwhelms you. You glance out the window. All you see is your own reflection smiling back at you. The smile on the face in the reflection is not yours. It's twisted and cruel, and the eyes gleam with an eerie light. You scream, dropping the phone in terror. The voice on the other end laughs, a sound like nails on a chalkboard. "You should have listened," the voice taunts. You scramble back from the window, your heart pounding against your ribs like a trapped bird. The phone rings again, and this time it's accompanied by a buzzing sound that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere. The buzzing grows louder, vibrating through the air, through the walls, through your very bones. You want to get away from the window, but your feet seem rooted to the spot. You can't tear your gaze away from the reflection that now seems to be mocking you. The image in the glass is no longer you. It's something else entirely, something malevolent that seems to be beckoning to you, wanting you to join it. But what does it mean? Why is it taunting you? And who is it? You close your eyes tightly, trying to shut out the horrifying image, but it's no use. You can still see it behind your eyelids. You can still hear the laughter echoing in your ears. The buzzing stops as abruptly as it began. You open your eyes cautiously. The reflection is gone. You rush to the window and throw open the curtains. The sky is dark and overcast. The wind is picking up, whipping the branches of the trees into a frenzy. But there's nothing outside. Nothing except for the swirling wind and the dark, angry clouds. A chill goes down your spine. You step away from the window, suddenly feeling exposed and vulnerable. The phone buzzes on the pillow. You can't move. You can't breathe. The room seems to be closing in on you, suffocating you. Finally, you manage to break the paralysis that's held you captive. You rush to the phone and slam it against the wall, cutting off the call, but it doesn't help. The image of the twisted smile is burned into your retinas. You pace the room, trying to shake off the fear that's gripping you, but it's no use. The more you try to banish the image from your mind, the more it grows, consuming your thoughts, your entire being. And then the phone rings again. You freeze, your blood turning to ice. What do? You ignore it. The ringing continues, insistent, demanding, but you don't budge, you don't move, you don't breathe. Time seems to stand still. The ringing continues until it becomes a deafening roar, and then it stops. Silence descends, heavy and suffocating. You wait, holding your breath, listening intently, but there's nothing. Only the sound of your own ragged breathing. You let out a shaky breath, relief washing over you. Maybe it's over. Maybe it was all just a bad dream. You tell yourself, forcing a shaky smile. But it's not a smile, it's a grimace. You don't feel relief. You feel dread. You know it's not over, not by a long shot, because the phone rings again. And when you answer, the voice on the other end says, "Now look out your window." I don't know who needs to know this, but the human body has a really weird habit of just randomly itching when you trying to fall asleep. Like, does anyone else get this, or is it just me? Anyways, welcome back to my channel. It's me, and this is another horror story from our subscribers. This one coming from our community member, Lila. So make sure to leave her a like and comment down below. A scary story that you've experienced yourself. The best ones will be featured on the channel. And if you want to submit a voice note instead, we now have an option for that in the forum, so check the link in the description. Also, if you want more chances for your story to be picked, join our server for writers and readers, where we share our stories and give each other feedback before posting to the channel. I'll put the link in the pinned comment. Anyways, on to the story. It was late at night, and I was lying in bed with my boyfriend. We were both asleep when I heard what sounded like fingernails scratching on wood from inside of my closet. I immediately sat up in bed and shook my boyfriend awake. He was very groggy and confused, but went quiet when he heard the noise. I told him I heard something, and he just rolled over and went back to sleep. I told him again that I really heard something and wanted to get out of bed and check it out. But he told me to just go back to sleep and that it's probably just my imagination. I really couldn't bring myself to go back to sleep, so I got out of bed and went to my closet and slowly opened the door. Inside, I saw myself. I was wearing the same clothes that I was wearing, but my face was pale and my eyes were droopy, and I was whispering, "Please don't let me out. Please don't let me out." My arms were stretched out as if I was trying to grab onto something, and my fingernails were long and sharp and they were scratching at the door as if trying to get out. I screamed and slammed the door shut and turned the knob to lock it. I slid down to the floor in a panic and hugged myself. I started to cry and waited for whatever was in the closet to stop making noise so I could go back to bed. But then I started hearing what sounded like screams in the closet, like something was trying to claw its way out. It started to get louder and more frantic, and then suddenly there was silence. I hesitantly got up, opened the door, and walked in. There was nothing there. I came back out, leaving the door open, and went to my bed. I didn't see anything else, and my boyfriend was still sleeping. I tried to wake him up, but he just kept mumbling and rolling over. I don't know how long I lay there for, but eventually my eyes got droopy, and I fell asleep. I woke up again to my alarm clock, got out of bed, and went to the bathroom. As I was brushing my teeth, I looked in the mirror and noticed I had tiny little scratches on my arms, but I must have done them in my sleep. I shrugged it off and got ready for school. When I got to school, I told my friend everything that happened the night before. She said that it probably was just your imagination. I knew she didn't believe me, so I just shrugged it off and we went to class. During the day, I couldn't focus on anything. I kept getting these random flashbacks of seeing that other me in the closet. I also kept imagining that me being in the closet and whispering to me. And the more I thought about it, the more I felt like I was going crazy. I tried to tell myself that it was just my imagination, but I knew deep down that what I saw was real. At some point during the day, I went back to the bathroom and looked in the mirror. I stared at my reflection, trying to figure out why I was being tested. I still have no idea what that test was. But when I came out of the bathroom, I realized that I wasn't in the same hallway that I went into. I was outside by the lockers. I walked down the hall until I found my classroom. As I was walking, I realized that I didn't remember anything from that day. It was like a huge black hole in my memory. I was scared and confused. And when I got to my classroom, I decided that I needed to get home. So I told my teacher that I wasn't feeling well and left. As soon as I got home, I ran to my room and locked the door. I threw myself on my bed and stared at the ceiling. Suddenly I heard a knock on my door. I jumped up in bed and yelled, "Who's there?" There was no reply. I walked over to the door and cautiously opened it. No one was there. I went back to bed and tried to distract myself, and then I heard it again. Someone was knocking on my door. I ran to the door and threw it open. "Who's there?" I yelled. Again, there was no reply. I turned around and slammed the door shut. Then I noticed that there were tiny little scratches on my door. I ran to the bathroom and looked in the mirror. I was shaking and crying. Then I realized that I wasn't looking at myself in the mirror. Looking back at me was the same pale girl that was in my closet the night before. She was smiling. So I have two questions. 1. What do you think happened to Lena? And 2. Which choice would you have made? Would you have opened the closet door or left it closed? Comment your thoughts below. And if you survived all three, hit subscribe. I'll need it.